Okay, some of you asked for a better look at the 20S62 campaign message that Ford wants us to do when we check to make sure that these toe links, the joint isn't binding up. What I do is I take a small screwdriver and I'll go at the rubber lip and I'll actually pull it back so I can see what's going on. Just be careful. I want to see if I still have, see, that's pretty dry inside there. There's not a lot of grease there, but that's not what they're looking for. That's something that I look for when I do this. It's a lot of rust on the end, but there's no real rust inside. See, that's really dry. And then I look and see, but it moves easy. Oh, there is a little grease. I see a little grease right there on the end. So what they want you to do is they want you to put the old bolt back in, torque it down to 111 foot-pounds, and see if this rotates. So that's what we're gonna do. And then they want you to do basically a drag test on it. Now that I've got it torqued down and you can see what's going on, I'm gonna put this, I'm just gonna do a wrench. And if I could just barely touch it like this, I'm barely touching it and it's already moving, it's gonna pass the drag test. That's not even 2 or 3 foot-pounds and it's already rotating. I'm just barely, I'll let you see from up here. If you look up here, I'm just barely, one finger just, it's moving. That knuckle's free. It's not bound up. So there are some things that I do when I'm in here. They want you to hook a torque wrench up to it and set it to 11 foot-pounds and then see if it clicks before it turns, but the torque wrench ain't going to because I barely touched it and it already started moving. As I'll put my socket on it. By the way, what I'm using is I'm using a 21mm wrench for the inside and I'm using an 18mm socket on the outside, and I'll grab it and I'll move it around and I'll make sure the joint's not bound up. Same thing on the other side. The other side already passed. So then I'll put a new bolt and a new nut on it. They just want to make sure these joints aren't bound up and they're rotating properly. And both of these joints are rotating freely. And I'll just take my pick and I'll just pull that rubber back where it meets. I'll put my new bolt and nut in there and I'll torque it to 111 foot-pounds with the toe link back on. So basically you'll pull this back over. Almost got me. You'll pull it back over, line everything back up, put the new bolt and nut in there. We share the part number with you. Part number for the bolt is W715419S439, and the part number for the nut is W520215S440. You need one on each side, so 2 and 2. I just wanted to share a little bit more of an in-depth inspection because they're just trying to make sure those joints aren't locked up, because after the toe links were put in, they were seeing some people having issues, it was rare, with still play in the rear end, and it come to find out that some of those joints aren't rotating freely and it's binding up and it's causing excessive wear. But as long as that joint rotates, like after it's bolted down and the vehicle moves up and down, that joint needs to move with it and it needs to be able to move in and out freely. That's fine, there's nothing wrong with it. It's when it's all bound up and then slopping loose or completely locked up and it's causing all kinds of drivability issues. But anyway, that's the inspection.